As I'm sure you know, I'm a fairly big collector of physical media, especially Blu-rays, DVDs, as well as some music and all that, and as you can see, some books. And I can see my CDs and stuff over here. There's a famous record store here in Chicago that I love to go to called Reckless Records. Been there very many times. And every once in a while I like to go down there and sell some stuff that maybe I don't like anymore or things that I've seen. Like sometimes I do blind buys and I'll watch them and then I don't need them anymore because I didn't care for them. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be selling this Huey Lewis and the News album that I don't really listen to. This is the soundtrack to Dick Tracy, but it's Madonna album. It's most known for having Vogue. I'm going to sell this Licorice Pizza soundtrack that I bought, actually from Reckless Records. Mainly because I don't like the movie. I mean, I do like some of the songs on here, but it's not something I really need or want. I'm also selling this Toto compilation album that I got for free some years ago. I am selling this Van Halen box set that has the first, 5, I believe it is. No, 6. The first 6 albums of Van Halen. I'm not the biggest Van Halen fan, and I don't know, I think someone else could give us a better home than me. I'm selling this DVD of Robot Chicken, season 1 that I found at a Goodwill, I think about a year ago by now. I love Robot Chicken, but I can't see myself ever watching it, to be honest. It's just, I don't really feel like I'll ever rewatch it. I'm selling this DVD of Barton Fink. I actually just got this off eBay recently, but I just also, within the past week, bought a Japanese Blu-ray for Barton Fink because there is an American Blu-ray, but it is extremely rare and expensive. And the Japanese version is still region A, and it's obviously in English still. So I have no reason to keep this DVD now because I love Barton Fink, but I have this Foo Fighters live at Wembley Stadium. I have no reason to keep this. I've seen it. It's good. I've also seen Foo Fighters live, which is kind of part of the reason why I want to get rid of it, because I have that experience of seeing them live. I don't need to watch that concert film again. And the last thing I'm going to sell, which might shock you, but I am selling this Criterion of the Infernal Affairs trilogy, because I've seen the first movie a couple years ago, and I did like it. But I can't say I loved it, to be totally honest with you, so there just isn't really a reason for me to keep it. I mean, I haven't seen the other two. I don't really think the other two movies would be better, just going off how sequels are. So I just can't see myself watching this ever again, so I think I'm just gonna sell it. I do trade-ins. I trade it in, and then I usually buy it for store credit. So I'm very curious to see how much this will all be, and then I'm gonna buy some stuff while at Reckless. Here we go.
This is Belmont.
Hi, it's Future Nick here. I didn't really want to record any voiceover while in the actual store. I was actually pretty busy. But so we're over here at a video game section. I don't own a PlayStation at all, but I do like looking at them. There's that Jeopardy game. This was a Major League Baseball game for the Intellivision. I might have bought it if it was a little cheaper. And then Aladdin on Sega Genesis. That's also pretty cool. And there's also just a bunch of PlayStation 4 and Xbox games. Moving over, this is the new arrivals area of Blu-rays and DVDs. You can see there's a pretty large library in alphabetical order. I saw this Karate Kid 1 and 2 Blu-ray thing. I haven't seen them in a while, but I did grow up with those two. And I've been wanting to rewatch them for a while, but I decided not to get it. With the trade-in value, I would be getting $30 store credits. That being said, there was a couple things that they wouldn't take, which I'll show at the end. This is the Werner Herzog Nosferatu the Vampire, featuring the same Isabella from Possession. It's actually probably my favorite version of Nosferatu. Highly recommend it. I didn't buy it here, but maybe sometime I'll buy it. I actually just saw The Revenant very recently in theaters. It's a good movie, but it's not really something I really care that much to own at the moment. And then I saw a fairly new Criterion for Read My Lips. I don't know a whole lot about. I know it's a French movie from the early 2000s. I've heard solid things about it. It's actually on 50% off compared to what normal Criterion is, but I didn't feel like picking it up. Briefly considered getting The White Ribbon from Michael Haneke. I've actually never seen a Haneke movie yet. I own the Caché Blu-ray, which I will be watching very soon. I saw a clip in one of my editing classes from Code Unknown, which looked incredible. Oh, it looked so good. I can't wait to watch the rest of it sometime. In Cold Blood has been a movie I've been wanting to watch for a long time. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It infamously stars Robert Blake, who would become an actual murderer, and he was also the mystery man in Lynch's Lost Highway. I actually don't own any of the Die Hard movies. I would only ever really buy the first one. I found this movie called Dark Web Cicada 3301. I have never heard of it, and just looking at the cover, it looked kind of cool. Upon doing some research, it's not a very well-received movie, so I very much considered buying it, but I resisted. Maybe I'll watch it sometime. The first movie I decided to pick to buy is The Pianist. A movie I've been wanting to watch for a long time, especially after watching The Brutalist and just seeing Adrien Brody's performance. He is amazing in that movie. So I felt like it was a good time to buy The Pianist. I briefly considered buying Porky's. I've never seen it. The only reason I was thinking about it is because I know it's a fairly rare Blu-ray, just because the movie is not available on any digital platforms. But it was $30 and I didn't want to spend my entire thing on Porky's. The second thing I decided to get was Titanic. And I'm actually kind of surprised I don't already own it. It's one of those movies I feel like everybody owns, so it was $7. Why not? They do have their own Criterion section at Reckless, but today it seemed very limited. I did notice they had a long out-of-print DVD version of Chasing Amy, which is, I guess, cool. Man, look at all those Star Wars Force Awakens nobody wants to buy. Right next to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Oh yeah, NBC did a remake of Rosemary's Baby in 2014. Do any of you remember that? Did anyone watch that? I went over to the kids section because there's been a couple movies I've been trying to find. I found this movie, Where the Red Fern Grows. I actually have some attachment to this book because I remember reading it in elementary school and then watching the 1974 movie. This Blu-ray is not the 1974 movie. It is a 2003 remake. Oh, this last time I was there, it's the fucking 2019 Lion King. Ugh. I really want to buy this, though, the Snoopy collection. This includes the 4 theatrical Peanuts movies from the late 60s and 70s. My God, it's rare for some reason. $45 for it. Jesus Christ. Now we're moving over to the music section where I did some looking here. I'm just looking at some Ozzy Osbourne albums. I already own my favorite of his albums, No More Tears. I went over to the Radiohead section just for the hell of it. I can't say I love Radiohead, but they do make some interesting albums, in rainbows. Big ass label on that OK Computer album, my God. And then I found something kind of interesting. Amok, Atoms for Peace. Never heard of it, but it was sitting in the Radiohead section, and I actually thought this was a Radiohead album at first. I actually didn't know until I got home, because yes, I ended up buying this because I had never heard of it. I ended up going home and realizing this is actually based on a side project of Radiohead. I mainly bought it just because of the packaging. It was just really shiny, and I'm easily manipulatable like that. I, of course, had a look at the Michael Jackson section. For whatever reason, Reckless doesn't have a whole lot of Michael Jackson albums for some reason. They do have a lot of Janet's albums, though, like a lot of copies of Rhythm Nation. I do really like Rhythm Nation, but I haven't really felt that compelled to buy it. And then there's one singular Jackson's album, 2300 Jackson Street, which was actually the last of the Jackson's albums. Like, what an odd choice to have available. I love looking at the soundtracks for some reason. I don't know. I think it's just because it's like a big compilation of music most of the time. I found this Japanese Boy and the Heron soundtrack sealed for like almost $40. Good God. I've still not seen the Boy and the Heron yet, so I don't really have a reason to buy it. They also had a copy of the Castle in the Sky soundtrack for also almost $40. And even though I would consider Castle in the Sky to be my favorite of the Ghibli movies so far, I don't really see a purpose in buying it. They had a huge selection of Charlie Brown CDs. Except for the Christmas one. They had one that was for the Thanksgiving special, which I actually do like a lot, but it was kind of weird they didn't have anything for the Christmas special. I saw this really cheap James Bond CD, which includes some of the title tracks up until For Your Eyes Only. Didn't really need to buy it. And of course, Pulp Fiction soundtrack. I actually do like the soundtrack for it, despite how I feel about the movie. Like I said, that movie is more of a demo reel than an actual film. Sorry, cinephiles, come after me. It's barely a movie. It is a demo reel, the loosest storyline. Anyway, looking at some television soundtracks over here, there's this Lost one. This is an interesting one. This has a compilation of just like TV intros. Really interesting. I didn't buy it because none of those shows are really my thing. I was actually kind of surprised to see the Stranger Things season 5 album. I actually didn't realize that they made CDs for Stranger Things, but I guess that's still pretty cool. Now this one was super interesting. This is an album based off the CSI series. Yeah, the CBS show. I mean, yeah, it has some like scores and stuff, but it also has like The Who and New Order. There's a band called Grand Theft Auto, which I've never even heard of. Could have bought it, I guess, just for the fucking novelty of it, but So these are some staff picks that they have, which are kind of cool. One of them had this Midnight Cowboy Blu-ray. I haven't seen Midnight Cowboy. I would like to sometime. Maybe if the Criterion comes along. I don't know. They have that DVD. They have some other DVDs in here. Oh, I don't know what this is. The Golden Funk with the anime girl picture on it. Chaos Hero is the name of the band. It also says Vaporware. That sounds interesting. It's a cassette, so I would have no way of playing it, so maybe there is a CD version for it. But this I really should have bought, and I kind of regret not buying. This is a soundtrack. This is a Powerpuff Girls Heroes and Villains soundtrack. Whatever that means. I don't even know if these songs were in the show or not, but that's just really cool. I love when they did shit like this in the 90s. This is a cassette for, I'm pretty sure this is an L7 album. And some other CDs. There's a Linda Ronstadt one. That was kind of cool. This person had the Criterion for Real Life in their staff picks. I've seen the movie, it's fine, it's whatever. This album really caught my attention. The Boots I Came to Town In by Becky Hobbs. I don't know what it was, I think it was just the cover that looked super interesting to me. But I should have known because I kind of had a feeling that this was a country album, and unfortunately that suspicion was true.
The band is playing that old melody.
So Reckless has a bunch of shelves of budget items, so they have this big black shelf full of CDs. One of them that caught my eye was Lionel Richie Back to Front. It's a compilation of Lionel Richie and some Commodore songs too. I like Lionel Richie a lot, so I had to buy it. The bargain bin area at Reckless is actually really great. I found a lot of really good CDs here in the past. Like I found the All That Jazz soundtrack in the bargain area. Like they even have like box sets, like this Dodgy, the singles collection. I don't even know who the fuck Dodgy is, but it's $1.99. That's sick. I looked at this Joe Satriani album. I have some nostalgia for one of his albums. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Basically, he makes like guitar instrumentals. So this is a single by SWV. I only really know them for their Human Nature remix of Michael Jackson, which I love that song. I think it's called Right Here. I think that's probably their like most popular song too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, and another soundtrack for Say Anything. Hey, I like the soundtrack too. I think the soundtrack is better than the movie. I didn't buy it, but yeah, that's cool. I like Peter Gabriel. I saw the CD last time I was at Reckless, like a couple months ago. Can't imagine why no one is buying a Gary Glitter album in the year 2026. This is probably the most interesting thing I found. This is the Desert Storm mixtape Block Party Volume 1 by DJ Envy. When I first saw this, I genuinely thought that this was a mixtape that was, I guess, listened to during Desert Storm, aka the Gulf War. I didn't find out until later that this actually came out in 2003, and I guess DJ Envy is a DJ. Who would have thought? Over by the checkout, they have a bunch of VHS tapes. I saw this one, Kiss Extreme Close-Up. Contains nudity, bad language, blood, and other great stuff. Hell yeah. Thought about buying it because I do have a fairly small VHS collection, but it was $8 and I don't really care for Kiss all that much to begin with. I have watched this before, Monterey Pop. There's actually a Criterion for it. It's a concert film from the 1968 Monterey Pop Music Festival. It's actually pretty good. Jimi Hendrix does a really good performance, I remember. I saw this sitting over here. $30 for a VHS called Teen Witch. Never heard of it. Don't know why it's $30. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Some other stuff. Apparently someone sold their entire collection of Flintstones VHS tapes. That's kind of funny. Here's an Atari 2600 game I found. Now, I actually saw this the last time I was here, alongside another one called Night Drive, which I actually ended up buying for $2. Maybe I should have bought this too, but I don't have an Atari 2600 to play. And this is also a math game. Maybe if it's still there next time I go, maybe I'll buy it. One of the last things I found before checking out was something called a 6 compact disc magazine
by Pioneer. I had no idea what this was. Is it like one of those old external like hard drives in there? Is it like one of those like old Muzak like discs that they would use in grocery stores back in the day? I don't know. I did not buy it. It was $10. Couldn't justify it in my mind not knowing what it was. Super interesting to find out in the wild.
Alright, chat, I am back from Reckless Records to show you the haul. Now, as I mentioned in the, I guess, monologue you'd call it, they traded in most of the stuff that I brought. However, there's a couple that they, for some reason, wouldn't trade in. So those would be the Best of Huey Lewis in the News, Time Flies, the Licorice Pizza soundtrack, and the Dick Tracy soundtrack of Madonna on Breathless. This has happened before when trading stuff into Reckless. And all they've really told me is that, like, sometimes they won't take them just because they don't sell very well, which is kind of funny because Licorice Pizza I actually bought from Reckless a couple months ago. So, I don't know, maybe take that with a grain of salt. So what did we get? Well, I actually was expecting a little more, to be honest, especially with, a Criterion, but I guess that isn't, that's how they make their money. But anyway, I got, first of all, Titanic Blu-ray for $6.99. Titanic is a movie that I have always kind of loved, even if it is a little cheesy. And it's a movie I've never actually owned. I'm actually kind of surprised I've gone this far without buying Titanic. Now, I could have bought the 4K. I guess I don't really care that much. I don't even have a 4K player or a 4K TV. So for now, Titanic is on Blu-ray is perfectly fine. I'm not a big fan of Reckless's stickers they put on things. Sometimes they're a little difficult to come off. I mainly take the ones off on the front just because I don't like how it looks. And then as you can see, like here, it's like stuck on the side. Maybe we'll be able to get it off. Nah. Comes with 2 Blu-rays. This is the feature and this is the special features. Yeah, I'm just, it felt like a long time coming to finally get Titanic, so it's good to have in the collection now. The other Blu-ray I got was The Pianist. This is the Roman Polanski film, Adrien Brody. I've actually never seen it. Every once in a while I will do blind buys. I don't do it very often, but if it's a movie that's been like, I know good things about it, I know it might be something I'll like, then I might buy it. So, and this was the case. And I have been really wanting to watch The Pianist for quite some time. Especially after watching Adrien Brody's performance in The Brutalist. I just had to do it. And $14.99, not terrible. I forget what the price is on like Amazon and all that at the moment. I want to say it's more than that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll do this. There we go. That's another good way to actually open it without having to use like scissors or anything. Take these stupid ass stickers off. But yeah, The Pianist on Blu-ray. Sorry, that's my air conditioner. It is like, it's actually kind of warm here in Chicago right now. It's March, it's the first day of spring, but yeah, The Pianist. Looking forward to seeing this actually. I've only heard nothing but good things about it. And then the last 2 things that I bought were some CDs. Okay, so this CD is kind of interesting. This is this is Amok by Atoms for Peace. Now, this was in the Radiohead section at the store at Reckless, which is why I grabbed it. I think I even mentioned in the fucking like monologue thing that it was a Radiohead album, and I liked the look of it. But I just when I got home, I just realized this is not Radiohead. But I did do some research on it. It has the lead singer of Radiohead, so I guess it's like a side project of Radiohead. I don't know anything about this. I guess some of the songs sound interesting enough that I'd want to check them out. And I do really like the cover. It's like, it has like the foilness. Limited, foil stamped even. So it looks like it opens, wait. Okay, this is interesting. So it has like a book almost inside. Whoa, wait. Whoa, hold on. This actually opens weirdly. Hold on. This is like, we're just discovering this now. First we get this fuck ass stickers off of it. I hate that shit. But it looks like this opens up to like whoa, like it's a huge, like, display of art. That's actually really sick. And then same thing on the other side too. And then the CDs, I can feel it's in here. I think it's this. Yep, it is. So, Atoms for Peace, Amok, Sooner or Later. Yeah, I don't know anything about this album. I don't even know if it has the same like sound of Radiohead or not. This is a really interesting. I'm really like, I really like the art, the package design of it. I think that might have made it fully worth it by itself. But sometime I'll have to give this a listen. I'll have to report back as to what this is. Last thing I got was this Lionel Richie Back to Front compilation album for $1.99. These stickers I don't try to remove just because for one thing, I consider them kind of retro stickers, but they also just are a lot more difficult to take off. So it has like my favorites of Lionel's career, and I mean like Easy's a Commodore song. I think that might be the only Commodore song. Oh, Still's really good. Yeah, this is a pretty good compilation of his songs. So, squeak, squeak. Yeah, it was really cheap. Thought this would look nice in the collection. And so that is kind of everything that I have got from this haul, I guess. I won't count the ones in front here, but that is kind of my haul for Reckless Records. This might be a series I'll do every once in a while. I don't know. We'll see how I felt about editing this. But yeah, let me know if you do like this kind of thing, and maybe I will do more. So thanks for watching. I will be back very soon. The Minecraft video is being worked on. I decided to go kind of complicated. It's kind of a complicated edit. It's kind of my fault, but I'm too committed at this point. And then of course there'll be the watch. We'll watch this month very soon. And a couple other videos that are in development too, other movie discussion ones. So yeah, stay tuned. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.